Hello. Oh, God, straight away I see a tech problem. They just sort the cameras out. Hold on. I changed the screen. Oh, that'll have to do, I think. That'll do. I'm not mucking around with it anymore. It's been a long day and it's been, oh, my God, an incredible build-up to this deadline and this game week, hasn't it? I mean, what else could go wrong? Nothing's been postponed in the last 10 minutes, has it?
No, but we have had a formal request mark from Arsenal to the Premier League in the last 3-4 minutes.
Has that just happened? Yeah. Literally just happened. Sorry, I should introduce myself. I'm, of course, Mark, founder of Fantasy Football Scout back in the day, and I'm joined by Gianni and Ed, good friends of mine from Fest, of course. And, yeah, Gianni, you've just broke the fact that Arsenal have submitted the request, right?
Yeah, they've submitted the request, and I can't think off the top of my head too many requests to the Premier League for postponements that haven't gone through. Chelsea comes to mind, but the vast majority... There's been a few, but the vast majority the request that put in, the game seems to be called off, right? I'd say, 75% success rate?
More than that, I think, wasn't it? I think it's more than that.
Everton had one that they tried to get off, and then the Premier League said no, and then it ended up being off, if you remember, because Benitez kicked off. But yeah, I mean, I've got on a free hit three Spurs players, so I need to change that.
Well, I mean, yeah, Spurs with a single game week of Leicester isn't brilliant. Like, away, I would probably looking at now maybe benching Reguilon and playing Foden.
I mean, I've got one Spurs player, so one player affected by this. Ramsdale's my sub keeper, so if Guaita doesn't play tonight, I've got no keeper. It's too late though to be bringing in some big guy. Making changes now to me. Like, I haven't really had a clue until this point anyway what to do. And now this is another variable thrown in with half an hour to go. I should say, first of all, if you're waiting to make your transfers, don't wait until we're finished, because obviously we're going to finish after the deadline. I haven't made my transfers yet, so I'm leaving it late. And as we know and as we've seen already this season, when you leave it late, that can be potentially disastrous. So please do not delay your transfers any further. Start making them now, but in case the site goes down. But has this changed any plan? Because you're free hitting, Ed, right? You're free hitting, and aren't you free hitting with lower than 50% ownership or something?
So basically, I clicked that. I know, I'm mad. I clicked the free hit button, 3-4 days ago, but then since then, suddenly Ronaldo, is he going to play both games?
He's
Kane, sounds like he's got one game to play.
Yep.
Lukaku, he might not play. My whole plan has gone out the window. So I thought, okay, this is the week. I've already hit the free hit button. So what do you do to make it fun? What do you do to be different? So I built a team earlier that altogether you add up their effective ownership, and it was less than 50%. But I've changed about 17 times since then.
I've got to
probably
admit,
changed 4 or more times on this stream.
When Az said you were playing a free hit, I thought, oh, what, has he got a chip left? Because I thought you'd just thrown all your chips away in the early days.
It's because it's the sympathy chip from, the Premier League gave us an extra chip.
Oh, yeah, so, okay, right. Okay, are you relying on another one of those then, are you?
Yeah, my plan this season is just to keep waiting for these sympathy chips to get me through to the end.
You're hoping the season remains a shit show and you get more chips, right? Yeah. Oh, that's a great strategy. Why doesn't that surprise me, Gianni, eh?
That is absolutely brilliant. And you never know, you might. They've been very generous, the Premier League, with our extras, so who knows?
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
Shall we look at your team, Gianni? Let's bring your team up first of all. You can go first, right? Right, this is what you got. De Gea, Trent, Alonso, Cancelo, Reguilon, Diop, Jota, Foden, Bowen, Antonio, Ronaldo. So how many doubles have you got? 4? 4 in there at the moment.
Yeah, and it doesn't look...
3 now. Reguilon's gone. Yeah.
Reguilon's probably gone. And what I don't have, so my plan was always Son out to, I was going to go Maddison, and then Locadia out for Dennis. Now, I'm apprehensive on bringing in Dennis on a 4-point hit, knowing he plays Burnley on Tuesday.
No, don't, because I'm doing exactly the same. I'm bringing in Dennis in for Broha because he's got Norwich in 23, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so, that does sweeten it. And even if it's a single game week of Newcastle, single game week of Norwich, 2 nice fixtures, right?
Exactly. Because what the key is, look ahead to 23 and see what your team would be for that. Yeah. And if you're taking a hit for anyone, make sure it's someone that strengthens you for 23, which is exactly my policy with my 2 transfers. But so what are you thinking of doing? I do the Dennis move.
Yeah, so if I do the Dennis move, though, it does mean I'm benching Cancelo or Foden. So it's not only am I taking a 4-point hit, right, but I'm benching Foden or Cancelo. However... maybe now Reguilon goes to the bench, because if I'm going to think it's going to be one, firstly, we don't know if he's fit. Secondly, the game might be off. And then finally, Leicester away, I don't expect Spurs to keep a clean sheet with Dyer injured as well. So I'm tempted to go. I think I'm going to make the moves now. Actually, I'm very close to going 4-point hit. Son out to Mason Mount. I like the double, and whilst I know you shouldn't be bringing in Chelsea with the blanks, Mount will be my placeholder for Salah.
I'm doing exactly the same, Gianni. I was going to ask you about Mason, because I know you love Mason, right? You've probably got, if we pan the camera around, that full-size poster you've got of Mason Mount will be in view. But I was going to ask you, and I can't believe you're doing Mount as well, because, well, I can, can't I? But I was going to ask you about it.
Our teams are so similar, and last week I think you got 93 points, I got 94. Like, our teams are very similar, Mark. So
well, that's okay. It would worry me if I'm about to go to Ed's team and he said, our teams are so similar. That would worry me. But if it's you, it's fine. Okay, talk to me about Mount. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good in the week. He was rested for the FA Cup. He did come off in the week at about 75, 80 minutes and did have a chat with people on the bench about, like, possible knock, but nothing's been said today. I'm sure he's trained. Set pieces from that Chelsea front three. There is only one player we can safely say will start both games. Even Lukaku, we can't be 100% sold on starts versus City. Well, Mason Mount, we can be. And Chelsea score more goals from set pieces than anyone else. He looks good in open play. He's nailed for 90. The Spurs fixture in Gameweek 23 isn't too bad. And I'm backing the guy with minutes. 2 bites at the cherry. I don't love the other options we've got. Lucas, maybe not now.
No, exactly right. Because I watched the FPL show because Ted was on it and some other idiot. And basically, they went through Mount, Maddison and Mora. And 2 of them are gone now, right? Because Maddison's only got one game. Mora's probably only got one game. But only got Mount left. Yeah. And like you say, the 23 fixture at home to Spurs, that's all right. It's
not bad. And then after that, we want Salah back in. And all my other midfielders, I'm not willing to sell for Salah. My Bowens, my Jotas, my Fodens. So actually, Mount to Salah is a very easy move for me. Yeah, I've got to downgrade elsewhere, Ronaldo. But he'll be my Salah placeholder.
You're doing exactly the same as me. I'm going to do Ronaldo. I'm going to go Broho out for Dennis this week now. Yeah. And Son to Mount. And then next week, ahead of 24, it's going to be Ronaldo back to Broho. And then it's going to be Mount to Salah.
Yeah. So who will you bench your City players or your Spurs
players? I'm benching, well, Martinelli, my first sub, just in case Arsenal Spurs is on. Then it's going to be Diop and Gundogan. Gundogan probably be third sub. Although, I don't know, I might actually put Gundogan in front of Diop. I'm debating that. So that's the bench order at the moment. Yeah. But we'll get to my team in a minute. Okay, so you're settled then. You're all right. 34k rank. You're doing well, Gianni. You've got to be chuffed at the moment.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's going well. Last few weeks, I've had some big greens. Since Havertz gate, I had a few big reds.
Oh, yeah, you were part of that, weren't you?
I was, and I'd started the season so well. But, swings and roundabouts, things have come off now. Like, I've had Salah missing penalties when I don't own him. I've had DCL missing penalties when I don't own him. So things just do balance out, and I think we have to be optimistic with it. Over a 38-game week season, your luck balances. Yeah. I'm fairly happy.
Yep, good. Okay, let's go to a man who perhaps isn't quite so happy. Mr. Ed, you've got your chip in play. This is what you got. Do you want to read us through it? Bloody hell. Do you want to read us through it? As a reasonable lager in goal already?
Yeah, well, so hang on. So what you've got in front of you has completely changed about 17 times since. Right. I know. But you see, the problem that I've had is particularly Tottenham looks like they're going to have a single game week now with Leicester away.
You've only got 3 Spurs. Oh, God.
Exactly, I know. Yeah,
come on then. What are you doing? You must have a mitigation. You must have a plan B.
Yeah.
Immediately ready.
Of course. Oh, yeah. The plan B. I'm on about plan M at the moment, and I'm going to probably go to a plan S or T by the end of this stream. But I've got a reasonable lager in goal still because he's going to, that's fine. No one's going to have him. Now at the back, I've got Lamptey, Robertson and Varane. Okay, so I've brought in Robbo because I can't afford Trent. In midfield, I've still got Trossard. I've still got Fernandes, but I've got Jota and Mount. And then up top, I've got Ronaldo, Lukaku, and Dennis. So I've taken out Kane, I've taken out Mora, I've taken out Royal because I don't even fancy any of the Spurs players if they've only got one game.
You know what? First of all, I reckon I'd go Cucurella over Lamptey.
Okay.
What do you reckon, Gianni?
I actually would veer towards Lamptey.
Would you?
Yeah, I think the games are spread enough out now to back him to play consecutive games. And I just love the fact that he could be out of position. I mean, he'll be more attacking even if it's a back 5, but we have seen him play right wing.
Yeah,
with a back 4 and then Lamptey. So I think I would go Lamptey.
All right, well, I've gone for Lamptey and yeah, whatever. I mean, it's a Brighton player playing tonight, and they've got a double, and that Crystal Palace game looks so intriguing. So if they don't do well tonight, then you end up thinking, oh, Chelsea is all I've got left. But I think they'll play both games, and yeah, we'll see. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy. I've obviously hit my free hit button, and it's going to be fun, whatever. So
if you're going differential, why are you captaining Ronaldo, or are you going to take it off him now?
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm torn between. I nearly went full differential and played Cavani at one point because I was thinking Ronaldo's not going to play. And I think Cavani in Rangnick's formation seems to be up front with Ronaldo, isn't it? So I don't know. I'll probably just make a decision last minute on stream. You'll witness me melt down as I normally do at deadline. So go through the players that are going to come in for the three Spurs lads again. The three players coming in are Jota.
Yeah.
Mount for Emerson Royal.
Yeah, right.
I like that.
And Dennis in for Kane.
Yeah, I think they're all good moves, actually. I mean, they're moves towards the template. Those three players are going to be very highly owned, so it's not really hitting your USP of I know, but I think it's sensible.
Sensible.
You hate these words, don't you? That's it. So this is what because earlier in the day I was going to go Maddison and I hated it, so I thought I'm going to switch the captaincy to Dennis, just so I have a little bit of it. And then when I heard the game could be off because Burnley have had the Leicester game, well, I've gone off the idea and I'm back on Ronaldo now. But if I was you and you want a little bit of difference, stick it on somebody, didn't you? Stick it on somebody different.
Dennis, Lukaku, Fernandes, Mount, Trossard.
Yeah, but then you got the disappointment already tonight, haven't you?
Yeah.
Don't go Tross. Don't do Trossard blanks so much. I think he blanks 1 in 4 or 5 games. I know he gets some good returns. What about Mount as a differential captain? Is Alonso in your team, Ed?
He was about 5 minutes ago.
Honestly, on a free hit, I'd be going Alonso all day long.
Yeah, but you love Alonso.
Because he hasn't let us down at all, Gianni.
Yeah, exactly, I know.
Yeah, but he does amazing in the BPS, right? Look, we'll obviously concede to City, but you could see a clean sheet against Brighton. He's been well rested in the cup games recently.
Rested or dropped?
Yeah, I mean,
that's the problem.
I can't wait to sell him. He's definitely not flavour of the month. Tuchel doesn't rate him, but I feel like he'll play both these games.
Yeah,
I can't see Sarr playing left back in a Premier League game.
No, fair enough. No, I maybe Bruno, Ed. Maybe Bruno. I mean, imagine.
Bruno, quite a few people seem to be captaining him on Twitter. He was a bit of a train starting today.
Yeah, it was Late Riser's fault, that was.
He did, yeah. I mean, Late Riser's bringing him in he's not playing a free hit. He's just bringing him in on his transfer, I think. And I think Az said he was going to go Bruno now. I know.
I can't believe the Bruno love. There's people going Bruno over Mason Mount just because he's 5 million more expensive and it's a placeholder for Salah. Well, you can still have a placeholder at 7 million, guys. Bruno, where's that come from?
I don't know. And Az said exactly the same in Black Box, and then 2 days later he's getting him in.
If you've not got Ronaldo and you want a bit of United attacking cover, I can kind of see it. Yeah. But if you've got Ronaldo to go Bruno, I mean, I'd be tempted on Greenwood over Bruno, and I don't love that pick either.
No, I don't think there's another United midfielder I'd look at other than Bruno, and I don't mind bringing Bruno in on a free hit, but I don't know if I'd do it on a transfer. Because if you look back at his record this season and look at the data, he's Mount's data actually promotes the fact that he's the option to go to now because he's right up there still. And all the set pieces, I mean, I've got Alonso, so I've basically got Chelsea's set pieces covered with Mount and Alonso, right? So I quite like that. So I don't get the Bruno for the transfer, but on the free hit, I get it. I think it's worth a go on the free hit. I don't know. I think if you're going to, look for differentials and you're captaining Ronaldo, I don't get that.
If you go Bruno on a free hit, though, can you still go Ronaldo and Kane? Although maybe we don't want Kane. Maybe we're discarding that Spurs.
Kane's gone.
Right. Well, it's Kane or Lukaku. That's the question I've got. Kane or Lukaku, what would you do on a free hit?
Kane's got one game, Leicester. He does score 7 goals against Leicester normally, though. That's the thing.
His old club.
Lukaku probably won't start both, or maybe won't, or
he'll get minutes in both. He'll start one and get minutes in the other if he doesn't start both. He's probably 50-50 to start, I'd say, against City. Maybe 60-40 to start. But it's no guarantee.
You know what's going to happen now? I'm going to take out all my Spurs players, and then it's going to be announced, no, the game's got to go ahead, and then there'll be a double for Spurs.
I don't see how it's going to go ahead. I don't see how.
Mm-hmm. No, it's funny that one of those players out, it was someone that's just red carded, Xhaka. It's like, okay.
Xhaka's a joke, isn't he? Honestly, unbelievable. Anyway.
What I'd say about Chelsea against City is not that long ago, Chelsea won the Champions League final against City, playing Havertz and Werner up front, and it worked. I know since City have spanked Chelsea in the Premier League, but that will still be fresh in the memory. And Lukaku hasn't set the world alight.
Would you go one Chelsea midfielder, Mount or Havertz?
Mount. And I'd consider captaincy on Mount if I was you for something rogue. That Brighton fixture's not bad.
To be fair, I've got to go rogue. I'm a million in the world. I've spunked all my chips. It doesn't make a difference, does it? I'm living captain Kepa.
Well, this is it. This is what I mean. Surely you don't go Ronaldo, because I mean I'm on Ronaldo and I'm going with a safe pick, right? So
me too.
I would go Dennis.
I'm changing my whole team. I'm going to go complete differential.
That's
Wait there. Give
That's
me 2
what
minutes.
we want to see. I knew we'd be able to talk him into it, Gianni. He's so easy, isn't he? I mean, I wish Az was that easy to manipulate.
You're a dream for the stream, Ed.
I'm gonna bring my team up now. I've just made my transfers, so basically what I've done to this, my team is Gaeta. Yeah, I know, still got Gaeta. I hope he plays tonight because I actually think Palace might get a result tonight. But I've got Ramsdale for backup. That's fine because. Oh, no, it won't be fine because he won't play. So once again, I've got keeper miseries. Trent, Alonso, Reguilon, Cancelo, Son, Martinelli, Jota, Bowen, Ronaldo and Antonio. So what I've done is Son out to Mount, which gets your blessing, and Broha to Dennis. And I'm playing 3 up front. So my team is Gaeta, Trent, Reguilon, Alonso, Cancelo, Bowen, Jota, Mount, Dennis, Antonio, Ronaldo, captain. So that's all right, -4. I've been taking, I mean, honestly, my transfers have been rubbish all season. And then last few weeks, I've been making a few good transfers when I'm taking hits. So I'm just kind of carry on taking the hits, I think. They're more.
Yeah, I'm with you. And if Villa get the double game week next week, we'll probably take another hit again to go Watkins or Cash. Like I think that's where I'll be next week. So yeah, it's been working. Modest hits though. We're not going crazy with 8s and 12s, but the 4s are ticking along nicely.
And I think what's crucial is what I've said earlier is Mount and Dennis both strengthen my team for game week 23. Like Mount at home to Spurs is all right. Dennis home to Norwich, definitely good, right? So even if Dennis doesn't get the 2 games, which I hope he does, the hit will be worth it to have a better player for game week 23 because I'll have him for game week 23 when, you know, West
Ham play United and you got triple West Ham.
Exactly.
You don't want all of them.
And you know, Chelsea at home to Spurs, it's not a game I want loads of players in. So, you know, it's good that I've got Dennis that can play, Antonio at Old Trafford and Bowen at Old Trafford. You kind of think on paper that's all right, but you just never know. It could be a down 0-0. So I'm happy with this. And also benching Martinelli was like, do I want to do that? But now the Spurs game might be off. That's an easier decision, isn't it?
Much easier. I'm benching Saka for the same reason. I'm also tempted, Mark. You don't have what are you doing with would you start Reguilon over Gundogan?
Yeah, that's it now.
That's a good point.
That's a good point now. I mean, Gundogan's stuck around. He's like, you know, when you get one of those players and you want to get rid of him, but there's always something else going on. And he's just like, he kind of fades into the background. It's like The Apprentice. There's always one on The Apprentice who never does anything for the first 10 weeks and he ends up winning it. Gundogan's like that. He's like the quiet guy on The Apprentice. No one's noticing him at the moment. And so I want to get rid of him, but maybe you're right. Maybe, because like there's COVID cases at City, isn't there? And we don't know what they are. And it could be enough for Gundogan to start.
Yeah, and we know it's not Sterling and Foden because they've had it and come back. I mean, I've got a similar dilemma. My bench is perhaps even slightly stronger. I'm going to bench Reguilon, Saka, and Diop, and I'm going to play my City boys Foden and Cancelo. I think so. Just I do fancy. I know I've said like Chelsea did all right against City in the champs. Remember that. I do fancy a well-rested City against Chelsea at home.
Yeah, I think there'll be goals in it. I think Chelsea will nick one. I think they'll cause some problems because I mean it's interesting. Chelsea was so bad against City at home, weren't they? And Tuchel's come out today and said, I got it wrong completely. Yeah. And they're kind of the mind games between Pep and Tuchel have kind of started today. They're both talking about each other, weren't they? So I think there'll be a decent game. I think there'll be goals in it. But yeah, you've got to fancy City. They are more well rested, obviously. But I think Reguilon, if he gets the Leicester game, I just like Reguilon. He gets forward so much. And if he doesn't play, then I've got Gundogan first sub, so that's all right. I think it's
Would
fine.
you go Reguilon over if it was Foden instead of Gundogan?
That's the thing.
This is my dilemma. Foden's likely to play number 9.
I fancy Foden, yeah.
You'd go Foden over Reguilon?
I think I would. I think I would. Because the thing with Gundogan is he might not start and he'll get 20 minutes. Whereas Foden probably will start, won't he?
I think so. He should do. If he's fully fit. We haven't seen... I'd love to have seen training pictures. We've not seen Foden training, but yeah, it suggested that him and Sterling are both fine.
He loves the big game. He loves him in big games, Pep, as well, doesn't he? And he always does well in the big games.
I bought Foden this season off the back of his first start in the Premier League, which was at home away at Chelsea, where he played number 9. It was watching that game that made me bring him in for Liverpool, and he scored then, and then the rest is history. Wow. So he likes playing Foden number 9 against big teams.
Yeah. Ed, are you doing your tax return or are you playing with your free hit? I can't work out which one.
I'm playing with my free hit, but it's getting pretty rogue. I'll be with you in a minute.
Okay, fine.
You don't have long. Just saying, you don't have long.
Will Thiago Silva play both games, do we think?
You are cutting it fine. I mean, what have you got? You got 10 minutes, right? And I mean, obviously, the rock solid FPL site, you haven't got to worry. But I still wouldn't leave it. I wouldn't leave it too long if I was you.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry.
Okay.
Thiago should play both games, Ed, because Christensen is out with COVID. I mean, it's still. I think he makes both games, but no banker. Rudiger's the safe bet.
Yeah.
Or even Aspi now. James is out.
But you go Alonso for the giggles, don't you? Surely, if you're going to Chelsea defender.
I was just wondering whether to get 3 Chelsea defenders. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, I mean, we've all wondered whether that because they only blank twice in the next year. Mind you, it's free hit, isn't it? So you can do what you like.
Yeah, but that means you can't have Mount. You've got to have Mount.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah.
There's a lot of Mason Mount love. It's so funny because
how many minutes have I got? Okay.
In the week, I was kind of dissing the whole Maddison bandwagon that has started up because I was very much on Lucas Moura, and then obviously Maddison's dropped out because that postponement. And then Moura, I was always like, I can't really go Moura because I reckon Arsenal will try for the postponement. And of course they have now. And so I've ended up on Mount. And it's like, he's third choice. And I kind of feel like, I feel guilty for only going to my third choice now. And I think, do I really expect him to return for me given that he was like third on the list? But I'm hoping that he doesn't bear a grudge and he still does it for me. What do you think?
I'm the same. Like he should have been. You'd think he'd be top of my list, but even me, the Leicester boys, Maddison, pretty much only. But I was considering, Barnes. But then it was Lucas. I was like, 2 fixtures for Lucas.
Yeah,
I was so happy with that move short term, especially knowing there was loads going to Kane, and I thought Lucas could help cover that. But yeah, Mount, just looking at it, I thought, okay, yeah, third choice, but it's still a good option, a solid option.
He's guaranteed starter.
Yeah,
on set pieces. Brighton fixture, I think Chelsea will score I think they'll score in the Brighton fixture. I fancy them to score in both games, right? And I think set pieces is the thing for me. I don't see him being a massive goal threat, but he's always there or thereabouts and involved. He's their leading scorer, isn't he? Isn't he your leading scorer, even ahead of Jorginho, right? So, yeah, I think it's the best we're going to get given that Moura and Maddison have dropped out. So, yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
He'll have all the set pieces, Mark, as well, because Alonso's set pieces have been poor of late.
Okay. Currently, I've got De Gea in goal.
Right.
Lamptey, Alonso, and Rudiger.
Right.
Trossard, Jota, Fernandes, and Mount. And up front, Cavani, Dennis, and Mopai. So I've got triple.
Mopai.
Yeah.
I liked it until you got to Mopai, basically.
He does score against Palace, though. Did he score against Palace last time in the last minute?
He did. He got the the winner in the last minute. Or was it an equaliser?
Give me one punt each. Give me one really punty thing each. Go on.
You've got a fair few in there. I mean,
I don't think I can out-punt you, Ed. I mean,
I don't think you can.
Who's your keeper? Have you still got Kepa?
No, De Gea.
Okay.
What about Lookman? I quite like Lookman. But I know he's only got one fixture. What am I talking about? Oh, my God, I've lost track. I've lost track of who doubles now.
The only single game week player you've got, Ed, is Jota, by the sounds of it. You're not going Bowen, you're not going Trent.
Yeah, why aren't you going Trent? Boring.
Because he's only got, it's boring. I mean, everyone's got him, and he's got
40%
It's boring getting double figures every week, isn't it? It's boring. Yeah.
Boring. Absolutely boring.
Yeah.
What other keeper could I go for? What keeper could I go for? No, it's not De Gea, because everyone's going to have De Gea.
Well, Kepa. Kepa,
but then,
great punt.
then
He might save a penalty.
I would go Kepa. Yeah, I would go Kepa. I know he's a laughing stock, but I would still go Kepa now. He's not alive, but you know what I mean. He's much maligned, but he'll get you save points, won't he? Mendy's data is really good. Like, obviously, he saves a lot of shots, so Kepa will get a lot of saves to make.
Yeah.
The trouble is the difference between Mendy and Kepa is Kepa doesn't always make the saves, and Mendy does. So. Yeah,
about 6 inches is the difference.
I've put Kepa back in, got rid of Rudiger,
right?
And replaced Rudiger with Robertson because Trent's boring. Everyone's got Trent.
So basically, this team is scratch. There's no point in doing this. Ed has mocked this up, and it was complete nonsense within 2 minutes of the. All right, okay.
And I knew when I sent it to him, he was like, "Can I have it?" I was like, "Well, okay."
So, how many in that team on screen have you gone with? 3 or 4?
That's not my team. Whose team's that?
You've got Trossard.
Marks on, isn't it?
No, that is your team. That is your team. I've just switched it.
That's not my.
Oh, you're a bit behind. There you go. There's a bit of a delay.
He doesn't even recognise his own team.
I might have been one of the teams I've made over the last week.
Or the chat, we've got Atam saying go Greenwood. Sanchez is getting a bit of love.
Sanchez? 1, 2. Sanchez. Well, double keeper. That's a good option, actually, Sanchez.
Only 4. I've only got 4 left from that.
Right. One of them is Trossard, right? And the other one's Lamptey.
Yeah.
I would go Kepa in goal. Or, Sanchez is a bit more... I don't know, I think Kepa's the flair pick. I don't think I'd ever say that, but I think he is. But by the way, guys, there's 4 minutes to go, right? So don't, like Ed, leave it to the very last minute. Please make your transfers now. Ed, you're playing with fire. Just do it. Just commit.
Okay. Yeah, I've done it. I've committed. I just keep committing and then recommitting and recommitting and recommitting.
Yeah, I keep refreshing. The site is doing okay. It's fine.
Yeah, and there's nothing new on Twitter that we need to know about. That request, what do we reckon then? Arsenal request, we're thinking because of that, there's a, 75, maybe more percent chance we're going with?
90% chance.
Yeah.
I think that we were working it out, weren't we, after the game on Twitter? There was a lot of people going, have they got 13 or have they got 12? And then we're going, does the FA Cup count? And they might have new cases now, right? So we just don't know. And
Spurs will be happy with it, won't they? Without Son and without Dyer.
Yeah, I was going to say Spurs aren't going to moan, are they, about it?
No.
I don't think Spurs have got a bit of a backlog. Arsenal haven't, though, I don't believe. Have they? Have they got a backlog of postponements? I've lost count now of who's got one. I need Ben Crellin's chart up in front of me, which I haven't got. But
does it make it, the fact it's Super Sunday, Mark, does that make it trickier for the schedulers, knowing it's a Sky game and big Super Sunday game? Would that come into the Premier League's thinking?
I think it will, to where they move it, to the date that they move it. But I don't... what's the options now? So that's playing something. Yeah, I guess they lose that game, don't they? But what can you do? It might play a factor, but they were down to bare bones. It's hard to contest the Arsenal situation, I think. So I'm pretty confident it'll be postponed now they've appealed. So I think it has gone. So, by all means, I'm keeping Reguilon in. By all means, keep the Spurs players in. But you're not going to captain Kane now, are you, basically?
I'm benching Reggie and I'm nervous about it if that goes ahead. And then but Foden and Cancelo just seem too dangerous to bench for me.
Yeah, I think Foden's the danger. He could do bits, couldn't he? So
he really could.
I think he's. Generally, this is a very hard. What do you? I haven't got to the point where I feel like giving up, but the postponements are becoming less fun now, aren't they? Let's face it.
Certainly the late ones.
You love it, do you, Ed? You love the chaos, basically.
I do love the chaos, but that's because I'm not actually sort of playing to try and... Well, I am trying to win, but I'm just rubbish, and I know I'm not going to, so that makes it fun.
It's a leveler for you, I guess.
I'm set, yeah.
You're done. We're all done. I hope if you're watching and listening that you're done as well, and we can settle down for the game week and see what transpires now. I just hope there's no more postponements. I kind of expected the Arsenal Spurs one, to be honest, so it doesn't really come as a shock. And I'd already decided not to go more on the back of the fact that I thought it was coming. So, but Gianni, what about you? Because you're having a good season. Are you are you firmly putting an asterisk on it, or are you kind of like rolling with the problems at the moment?
I mean, when the arrows are green, I roll with the problems.
Yeah, exactly.
When the arrows are red, this is the worst season ever. We can't plan. We can't do this. We can't do that. It's so funny. I mean, your arrow really does determine your stance on this. I really think it does. Everyone moaning on Twitter, the moaners, rightly so, are the ones that are having red arrows. And those that like it and like that short term, play it week by week, big on the hits, well, they're getting greens because of it. So they're happy. It's a tough one. I must admit, I don't mind the chaos, and I do like the variety. Like, there will be a time in this season, probably by March, April, where we get back to our planning and we know our doubles well in advance and all of that, and we're back to making one transfer a week. That will be fun, and it's nice to have the balance. And that's the game as we know and love, and that game will be here for the foreseeable. But short term, this is fun. This chaos is fun at the moment.
Yeah, you are right. It does depend on what arrows you're getting. And I've had a run of greens, and I have actually been quite lucky with the postponements and the COVID stuff. I haven't really been hit hard by it. So it's very difficult for me to give an opinion on it that's fair. I mean, you suffered the Havertz or disaster, but since then you've been all right with the COVID stuff, have you? So maybe that's balanced out for you.
I have. And also there's been stuff on the pitch as well as off it. If you captained Salah for his 0, if you had DCL for his 0, both missed penalties. Like, those decisions for me would irk me way more than Spurs, Burnley being called off because of the snow, as I had 3 players in that game, or, these late COVID cancellations. It's what happens on the pitch, really, that matters to me.
They're the harder ones to take. I think, you know, the COVID stuff is out of our control. It must be frustrating. I'm a planner. I love it, but you've just got to roll with it and make only short-term plans. Don't have any aspirations. Like, the deadline has gone. Ed, you're committed. You're done. You happy?
No. No.
Did you go Kepa in the end or not?
Yes, and I captained Mount or Dennis. I changed. I don't know whether I can't remember. But anyway, hey ho, I've got a fun team.
We've talked him into Mount, Gianni. I bet. What if Mount hauls? I'll be happy if he hauls, but not happy for Ed, but happy for.
I hope you have captained him. I mean, captaining Dennis is risky for that Tuesday night game not going ahead. Like, you could be captaining Dennis against your own team in a single game week for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, Newcastle-Watford's an intriguing one. I think that's going to be a very open. I can see goals in that game. Like, neither team can defend. I think Chris Wood's going to score, and I think Watford will get goals. I could see Newcastle winning that 3-2.
Actually,
2-1.
right, I want to hear what are you into Chris Wood, Ed?
Actually, I think it's a good signing. It's a signing for here and now, isn't it? You can say we want all these top young talents around Europe and we're going to pay them, but for here and now, we just bought Chris Wood. He had a buyout clause, so we could definitely get him. He's from a relegation rival who now don't have a striker, and they're linked with Andy Carroll, for goodness' sake.
I saw that today. It's like they sell their striker to Newcastle, then go and get the Newcastle striker from 10 years ago to replace him.
I know. And 20 million, 25 million is just nothing to us. It's just nothing. It's like, we found it down the back of the sofa. So it's not. All right. Don't Billy Big Potatoes with your money. Oh, it's outrageous.
It's fair enough. We came to the same conclusion on Black Box. I did mock it a bit, but I think it's just because Newcastle fans are dreaming of these big names, and I think this has brought them back down to earth. That okay, just calm down. It's not going to happen yet. It'll be a few seasons. We're building up to it. Right now, we'll settle for Chris Wood for 25 million, but I think it's a good signing.
I think it's quite shrewd, really. Quite shrewd signing,
Yeah. Gianni, you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I think it was really smart business, to be honest. I'm surprised. Like, it was one of those. With big name players, we always know about the release clauses and we know the number. It's always talked about. The Chris Wood release clause, just no one knew anything about it.
I said to Raz, I don't think anyone, including Burnley and probably the agent that dealt with Chris Wood's release clause, thought that clause would ever be a factor. I think they just threw it in and went, they'll never come to it, but we'll put it in. And lo and behold, there it is. So bless him. He's done well for himself. And he'll be on decent wage, I imagine, Ed, right? You'll be paying him quite a bit.
Yeah. He will have got a big bump from his Burnley salary, and he's coming to a club that has 52,000 seats rather than whatever Burnley have got, like 3, and so
harsh. But the thing is, I bet he's got a bonus if you stay up. I bet he's got like £1 million bonus if you stay up or something ridiculous.
Probably like a £1 billion bonus. Yeah,
he's probably got a release clause. If they get relegated, he can go back to Burnley and go play in front of 3 men on wooden seats.
He'll never displace Andy Carroll though. He'll never get his place back now. Once Carroll
Did you see that clip of Andy Carroll's 2 disallowed?
Yes,
overhead kicks.
Yeah. See, look at what you could have won. Hey, you could have got Carroll back instead of Wood.
Yeah, no, it wasn't for us, Gianni. It was for West Ham. He scored that over.
It was. It was. He didn't score many for you, did he?
Yeah. Anyway, we've rambled on. It's always a pleasure to chat to you guys. I hope the viewers got something from that nonsense over the last 35 minutes. But we did see Ed. Ed, do you want to just go? Can we? Oh, have you got your full team? I just want to know what you actually committed to. You can't bring it up on the screens because the site's down, isn't it? Can you remember it?
I didn't screenshot. It was Kepa.
Yeah.
It was Lamptey. It was Alonso. It was Van Dijk. It was Mount, Trossard, Rashford, and Fernandes.
Rashford, hold on. Oh, Rashford.
Yeah. This is his moment.
He's playing terribly. Hasn't he gone on record as saying that this is the worst period of form he's had or something?
Exactly. That's it. Exactly.
Where did Rashford come from? You didn't mention in the last 29 minutes. You never mentioned him.
I mean, even Greenwood, who was a really out there punt. Even Greenwood, if I wasn't going Bruno, but Rashford. I mean,
where did that come from?
Excuse me, I haven't finished explaining my team. Dennis, Mopai, and Cavani.
I love that front three.
I like the front three as well. Yeah.
It's got. I mean, if we're all going heavy on Ronaldo, so why not Cavani? It's fair point. It'll be a front two of those guys, and we know Cavani is fit. Against Brentford, you could see Cavani scoring, and Mopai in that derby, the M23 derby, he turns up for those games.
All I'm going to say is, if my team outscores both of your teams, we've got to come back on, and you need to explain yourselves. Unless Mount Halls, because that was you.
If your team outscores mine, I will donate the number of points in pounds to charity that you get. Basically, there you go.
Love that.
Charity of your choice. There you go. We'll see.
Right.
Because you've got Rashford, I can't see that happening, to be honest. Even though you did 3 it, but we'll see.
And the funny thing is as well, my two first subs are Jota and Cancelo.
You've benched Jota. You've benched Jota. There's people out there captaining Jota. Okay.
Yeah, boring.
You must have had money coming out of your ears to be able to.
I had like 20 million left over, so I was just like, oh well.
So you could have gone Bruno instead of Rashford.
I had Bruno and Rashford.
You got both. Sorry, I missed that.
Of course he has. Right.
Of course.
Nice.
Okay.
Hey, before we go, we should just mention all those in the chat. Loads of people that probably aren't all familiar with us as a trio. We are the organisers of Fest. If you haven't heard of Fest,
get the plug in, at Johnny.
Well, I'm looking for my book as well. If you haven't heard of Fest, we do these meetups, right? And they are in. Thanks, Ed. We don't need to do the book. I'm only joking. But yeah, in April, date Ed, 21st.
21st of April, the Friday, whichever one is the Friday.
And tickets are on sale, and Ed is going to put a link in the chat right now. If you want to come see all us three and hundreds of others, Central London.
Yeah, and Ed, you're still doing the stand-up comedy, right?
Yeah, I'll be doing stand-up comedy.
I mean, like they've just had a sample of you for the last half an hour, so I'm certain they're rushing to get tickets now at the prospect of you in stand-up. Basically,
I'm pretty sure they are. I mean, I think that if the stand-up comedy is just 5 minutes to the deadline, me changing my team, that might work.
It wouldn't be that funny. Getting Marcus Rashford, that's funny. He'll go mad now, Rashford, and make us look silly.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Arsenal have just tweeted saying we've put the request in, but we kind of knew that anyway from a journo.
Nothing new, though. We're okay.
Nothing new.
Okay, well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Good luck with your game weeks. Good luck, Ed. I'll get the check ready for the charity. And yeah, for those joined us, there's 1,000 watching, believe it or not. 1,000 watching. Thanks very much for joining us. It's been a bit chaotic, but that basically sums up the game week to this point, doesn't it? Let's just hope that through the chaos, green arrows arrive. Okay. Thanks, Gianni. Thanks, Ed. Always a pleasure. Bye from me.
Bye from me.